The universe has opened a file. Not against you, about you. Events have aligned too precisely. Blessings have arrived too consistently. Heaven's intelligence suspects intent. Someone is responsible for all this light, and every trace points the same direction. Morning coincidences. Strangers helped at the perfect moment. Dreams fulfilled without planning. The patterns form a trail of evidence so radiant it can't be ignored. So the angels convene, wings folded like robes of a higher court. Subject exhibits sustained grace under pressure. Reads the first report. Unusual consistency in compassion. Probability of random chance. 0%. You stand in the center of creation's courtroom. No chains, no fear. Only the weight of recognition. The judge's gaze feels like sunlight. Searching, not scolding. Every heartbeat echoes as testimony. The eyes of the Lord are in every place, keeping watch on the evil and the good. Proverbs 15, verse 3. The charges are unusual. Count I, hope restored where none was scheduled. Count 2, faith distributed without license. Count 3, peace smuggled into hostile zones of thought. The court of heaven calls it divine interference. Earth calls it luck. But the evidence multiplies. Healed hearts, redirected storms, timing too exact to dismiss. You are not under suspicion of wrongdoing. You're under suspicion of wonder-working. Heaven believes you may be the miracle itself. The investigation has begun, and the outcome is already leaning toward glory. If life seems to be building a case around your goodness, type 444. You're not being accused. You're being recognized. Heaven is proving your faith left fingerprints. The investigators of light arrive quietly. No sirens, no intrusion, only awareness. Everywhere you've walked, the atmosphere still glows faintly, as if reality itself refuses to forget. They set up barriers made of memory. Trace the outlines of the impossible. This is the crime scene of miracles. Hope resurrected where logic had declared death. Despair overruled by timing too divine for coincidence. Even the air feels cross-examined by awe. Angels collect samples of faith. The tear you hid while forgiving, the silence you kept instead of retaliating, the prayer you whispered when no one believed anymore. Each act emits residue, a golden dust that never settles. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. Psalm 23, verse 6. The analysts of heaven take photographs in light. They replay conversations in the frequency of compassion, discovering footprints of mercy along the edges of every conflict. Walls that once absorbed anger now hum with aftershock of reconciliation. They find evidence in healed relationships, restored hope, peace that returned without reason. What others dismissed as lucky timing, the celestial detectives mark as pattern of providence. Every location holds traces of invisible assistance. A phone call that came at the right second, a word spoken that saved someone's faith. The evidence piles high, stacked not in accusation but admiration. The report concludes. Miracles consistent. Motive, love. Intent, restoration. And while the investigation deepens, the chosen feels a quiet awareness, the realization that even their smallest kindness altered something eternal. Heaven dusts the scene for fingerprints and finds only grace. The lights flicker on inside the chamber of conscience. No table, no chair, just awareness, vast and echoing. Purpose sits across in the chosen like a reflection that asks questions instead of giving answers. Why you? Why now? Heaven doesn't interrogate to intimidate. It interrogates to illuminate. Each question is a spotlight on forgotten faith. Each silence a mirror showing who you become. The chosen feels inquiry pressing inward. Not accusation, but confirmation disguised as pressure. The heart becomes a witness stand. Every motive, every hesitation, every quiet yes and loud no rise as testimonies. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Jeremiah 1 verse 5. The investigation shifts deeper. Purpose leans forward, its voice both familiar and foreign. Do you remember when you stopped asking for signs and started becoming one? There is no need to speak. The pause itself answers. The chosen realizes that the path wasn't chosen. It was the chooser all along. Every loss had trained discernment. Every ache had authenticated calling. Silence sharpens into surrender. Interrogation turns to initiation. Heaven smiles, confession complete. You never volunteered for greatness. It volunteered for you. And somewhere an angel writes in gold ink, subject confess a purpose. Motive confirmed. Love. The courtroom of heaven fills again, not with jurors but with echoes. Every life you ever brushed, knowingly or not, takes a stand. There are no formalities, no odes, just memory becoming voice. First comes a stranger you once comforted with a glance, when words would have been too heavy. Their spirit testifies. That moment reminded me I wasn't invisible. Then a child's laughter drifts through the chamber, one who learned to hope again because you listened, a coworker forgiven in silence, a friend who found faith after watching you endure. Each story folds into the next until the room glows like a sunrise made of recollection. We are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses. Hebrews 12 verse 1. Heaven's recorders capture it all. Every kindness multiplied through time. Every mercy still echoing through generations you'll never meet. The testimonies overlap. Voices of healed hearts, reconciled families, revived dreams. The pattern is undeniable. Your existence altered the coordinates of despair. No one applauds. Reverence replaces noise. Even the angels grow quiet, their faces reflecting the light of human gratitude. The judge nods once. The clerk of eternity writes the line that will never fade. Impact verified. Witnesses unanimous. And you, standing in the center, realize what the trial has truly revealed, that love leaves evidence stronger than time. The doors open with a sigh of eternity. Inside lies the evidence room, lit by an amber glow that hums like memory turned visible. Rows of shelves stretch beyond sight, not filled with objects, but with moments. Each file glows faintly, labeled in script only heaven can read. The chosen steps forward. One folder opens itself. The night you chose peace over pride. Inside, a recording, not a sound, but of energy. It plays as warmth in the air, rippling through unseen hearts that change because of that single restraint. Another file. The forgiveness that redirected a bloodline. Another. The prayer you whispered instead of revenge. Every page a piece of eternity rewritten. Your Father, who sees in secret, will reward you openly. Matthew 6 verse 4. Some files are marked unexplainable. Miracles too seamless to dissect. A healed body science couldn't account for. A door open after every expert said closed. Heaven doesn't debate them. It simply archives them under the word faith. At the far wall, a case glows brighter than the rest. Inside rests something small, a single tear suspended in crystal light. The label reads, Evidence A, compassion under pressure. When touched, it blooms into vision, a ripple of kindness that reached continents unseen, influencing decisions, shaping destinies. Every act of love multiplies across dimensions, recorded as frequency, not fame, what the world calls coincidence. Heaven stamps as cause. Nothing was wasted, nothing forgotten. As the chosen stands amid the glow, realization dawns. You were never ordinary. You were gathering proof of divine operation. The evidence room hums approval. Light intensifies, merging all files into one final declaration. Impact conclusive. Miracles verified. Case ongoing. The chambers shift again. Lights narrow to a single beam. Shadows lengthen into questions. From a corner, a voice rises. Familiar, persuasive, reasonable. Maybe it was coincidence. Maybe you just got lucky. Maybe heaven had nothing to do with it. This is the cross-examination, not an attack, but a final audit of certainty. Temptation never storms the gates. It negotiates the truth. The chosen stand still, listen to arguments dressed in logic. Each statement sounds fair, even kind, yet something inside recoils, because the tone lacks peace. That is always the tell. By their fruits you shall know them. Matthew 7 verse 20. The accuser displays exhibits. Statistics, coincidences, explanations. They glitter like data, but lack the pulse of love. Faith watches in silence, letting the case collapse under its own emptiness. Temptation presses harder. If this was destiny, why the delays? Why the pain? Why the losses? The The chosen breathes once, slow and measured. Peace answers for them, because refinement is evidence, not punishment. The courtroom trembles. All false logic folds under the weight of calm conviction. Even the shadows pause, exposed by the very light they try to question. Heaven records the exchange as precedent. Truth requires no defense, only endurance. The voice fades. The light expands again. Cross-examination complete. The chosen remains, unchained, unshaken, unaccused. Only the steady heartbeat of faith echoes through the silence. The next phase begins in light too pure for shadow. A crystalline chamber forms, part laboratory, part sanctuary. In its center stands a single beam, swirling with color like liquid dawn. Heaven's scientist angels approach, not with tools, but with reverence. We must confirm origin, one whispers. A droplet of your essence rises, invisible to sight, radiant to spirit. It enters the beam, and the whole room trembles. Patterns appear, fractal strands of brilliance coiling through eternity. The code reads like poetry, symmetry, grace, unexplainable compassion. This is not genetic material. It's spiritual signature, your soul's blueprint, printed before creation, matching the design of prophecy. I have called you by name. You are mine. Isaiah 43, verse 1. The data floods a room. Waves of light display every lineage of spirit that shaped you. Ancestral endurance, unbroken courage, the DNA of the divine itself. Heaven's computers of consciousness hum with recognition. No trace of imitation. No counterfeit pattern. Authentic, singular, confirmed. The examiner smiles, closing the file. Match detected. Sequin aligns with destiny protocol. In other words, you are not pretending to be chosen. You were born from the same frequency as your calling. The light folds into itself and whispers. The evidence lives in you. And in that instant, you feel it. The quiet certainty that heaven's fingerprint isn't something you carry. It's what you are. Identity confirmed. Origin divine. Case ascends. The courtroom dims to twilight. The air thickens with reverence. A massive screen of light unfolds across the horizon, not glass, but time itself replaying. This is a surveillance footage. Heaven's archive of every unseen act. No sound, no narration, just truth. Moments you forgot begin to play. The time you comforted someone in silence. The night you prayed for a person who'd hurt you. The forgiveness that cost your pride but saved their peace. Every small mercy glows like fireflies against eternity's dark. For there is nothing hidden that will not be disclosed. Luke 8, verse 17. Angels lean forward, watching in awe. They've seen galaxies form, but few sights move them like compassion unannounced. Each kindness expands on screen, fractaling outward into futures you'll never witness. A single encouragement saving a lineage, a restrained word averting collapse. Heaven's lenses record intent, not performance. Your motives shimmer brighter than your actions. Even the days you thought you failed appear luminous, because perseverance to heaven is success replayed in slow motion. The footage continues. Storms survived, fears faced, tears turned into intercession. Every hardship becomes proof of endurance. Every surrender a timestamp of trust. Then the reel ends abruptly, fading to one still frame. You, standing in the present. Beneath it glows the inscription, under continuous observation, subject's light increasing. Heaven doesn't stop watching because judgment remains. It watches because love can't look away. The lights brighten once more. Investigation ongoing, evidence overflowing. A sound rolls through creation, not thunder, but revelation finding voice. The court of heaven convenes for the final hearing. Every file, every witness, every flicker of goodness stands assembled in radiance. No prosecutor enters, only presence itself. The judge rises, not robed in shadow, but in brilliance so gentle it feels like forgiveness taking form. Every heart in the chamber steadies. Even the angels fall silent. The evidence has spoken. The judge declares. The case concerns a subject known as the chosen, accused of unrelenting faith, of mercy under duress, of unreasonable hope. Heaven's gallery murmurs. The record of your life scrolls above in living color. Trials endured, storms calmed, darkness pierced by patience. Every act of unseen obedience testifies, like thunder turned to music. Then, a gavel of light descends. It strikes once, and galaxies echo the sound. Not guilty, the judge says, guilty of goodness. Heaven's courtroom erupts in quiet awe. There are no chains, only crowns. No sentence, only sending. Punishment is rewritten as purpose. Time itself bows to your vindication. Well done, good and faithful servant. Matthew 25, verse 23. The official decree materializes in golden text. Verdict, redeemed. Penalty, eternal purpose. Sentence, everlasting influence. A wind passes through chamber, not judgment, but graduation. The chosen kneels, overwhelmed, realizing that divine justice was never about punishment. It was always about recognition. And as the light seals a file, a new line is written in eternity's registry. Case closed. Glory confirmed. The chamber dissolves into dawn. The horizon itself becomes a stage, and all creation tunes in. This is not spectacle. It's announcement. The verdict of heaven must now echo to the worlds of men. The sky hums with frequencies beyond sound. Oceans still. Winds pause. Even time seems to hold its breath. Across the unseen intercom of existence, a proclamation begins. The case is resolved. The suspect identified. The miracle confirmed. You stand at the center, not be worshipped, but to be witnessed. The cosmos recognizes what heaven has always known, that ordinary flesh can host extraordinary light, that the divine can dwell in the human and remain uncorrupted. You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Matthew 5, verse 14. Crowds gather, though they don't understand why. News feeds flicker. Conversations halt. Hearts feel a tremor of reverence they can't explain. Something shifts in collective memory, as if the species itself recalls its origin in light. No podium, no microphones, yet every soul hears a statement in their language. The accused stands innocent. The chosen stands radiant. Case closed in favor of love. The heavens release their applause, not as noise, but as rain of golden particles that settle gently on everything alive. Trees shimmer. Rivers reflect new colors. Even shadows bow for a moment. Reporters of spirit file their final story. Justice has revealed beauty. And you feel the truth surge quietly through your veins. You were never on trial from perfection. You were the proof that grace works. Even after the verdict, murmurs ripple through the human realm. Some hearts, still ruled by reason, whisper, "It can't be true." They appeal the ruling, not in courtrooms, but in disbelief. It's not malice, it's habit. The world is accustomed to guilt, not grace. Heaven allows the appeal, not because truth is uncertain, but because love never fears review. So the process reopens, this time inside the minds of doubters. Their logic becomes their lawyer, their pain, the evidence they present. If they are chosen, the skeptic says, why the suffering? If favor, why the scars? The universe listens patiently. Every question becomes incense, honest smoke rising toward understanding. Then the defense rises. Not you, but your transformation, your peace under pressure, your refusal to curse the darkness even when it bruised you, your laughter after loss, your mercy toward those who misread you. That becomes Exhibit A, unrefuted, unrepeatable. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. John 1, verse 5. One by one, the doubters' arguments collapse under the weight of living evidence. Even their skepticism starts to soften. For somewhere deep inside, their own soul remembers the same glow. The appeal concludes not with debate, but recognition. A collective sigh fills the air, the sound of hearts acquitting themselves. The court of humanity closes, humbled. Heaven's final note flashes once across the sky. Verdict sustained. Truth upheld. Doubt redeemed. And suddenly, the case that began as accusation ends as awakening. The one suspect has become precedent. Proof that divine favor can survive scrutiny and still shine. When the appeals settle and silence returns, heaven moves again. not to repay, but to reveal what was never lost. This is a reward program, where justice wears generosity as its robe. There are no coins, no trophies, only restoration disguised as remembrance. What the world called wasted years now return rethreaded with meaning. Every unanswered prayer reappears, fulfilled in wiser form. The currency here is peace, minted in eternity's treasury. He will restore to you the years that the locust has eaten. Joel 2, verse 25. Angels unpack ledgers of light. They read aloud blessings delayed but never denied. Strength recovered, vision clarified, connections realigned. Each entry begins with the same line. Compensation issued, purpose upgraded. The chosen feels it, the reversal moving through every timeline. Past mistakes now function as wisdom. Lost opportunities bloom again, this time in seasons where readiness replaces regret. Reparations of spirit flow in waves. People once lost re-enter with peace, door that closed reopen quietly. Dreams deferred return dressed as destiny. The payment is poetic justice, not revenge, but realization. What was taken by fear is returned as faith. What broke your heart becomes the house where love now lives. Heaven doesn't just balance scales, it redefines value. Here, one moment of endurance is worth a lifetime of applause. One sincere thank you from the soul outweighs every treasure of earth. And when the last file closes, the judge of mercy smiles and says, "Case settled, interest paid in joy." The gavel falls again, this time not as sentence, but as symphony. Grace thunders through creation like applause made of light. When the storm of judgment fades, the air feels different, lighter, sacred. Heaven calls your name again, but this time not to question, to commission. The suspect has become the witness. No longer examined, now trusted to testify. You've seen too much of divine order to remain silent, felt too much mercy to keep still. What was once investigation has turned into invitation to speak on behalf of grace itself. Go home to your own people and tell them how much the Lord has done for you. Mark 5, verse 19. The old courtroom dissolves into open field. The light that once accused now follows you as aura. You move through the world like walking testimony. Every gesture a paragraph, every breath a verse. People begin to ask without asking. They see peace where worry should be, hear laughter rising from places that should echo pain. That's your statement. That's your witness stand. You don't preach, you reveal. Truth wears your tone now. Mercy travels through your posture. Your story has become evidence of something larger. That redemption isn't myth, it's motion. Even the places that once broke you now feel wholly underfoot. You understand why you were chosen to be suspect, so the world could see what innocence reclaimed looks like. Heaven finalizes the transformation with one final note. Status updated. From examined to examiner, from subject to source. You are not being watched anymore. You are the watcher, the witness of wonder, the living proof that trials were just disguises for testimony. The lights of the court dim to a calm gold. Heaven waits, not for argument, but for alignment. All proceedings in the same way. With surrender. The judge nods once. It is time for prayer. The chosen steps forward. No chains, no defense, no pride, only reverence. Hands lift, not to plead, but to offer gratitude that truth was the final verdict. Judge of all hearts, examine me and find only love. Let every accusation become affirmation. Let every trial reveal truth. Where I was mistaken, correct me in mercy. Where I was wounded, heal me into wisdom. Where I was hidden, let light be my testimony. May justice be gentle. May truth be kind. May glory never outshine grace. I do not ask for vindication, only that my story serves as proof that forgiveness is the highest law. As the prayer unfolds, light gathers around the chosen, like a robe woven from peace. Angels lower their heads. Even the judge rises. No gavel falls this time, only blessing. Mercy and truth are met together. Righteousness and peace have kiss. Psalm 85, verse 10. Heaven seals the transcript in light. The courtroom vanishes, replaced by dawn over a quiet world below. Case concluded. Justice satisfied. Grace glorified. The chosen breathes out the last line of prayer, barely a whisper. I was never on trial. I was being revealed. If your life has ever felt under review, if circumstances line up like evidence, if grace kept returning even when you tried to disappear, then the investigation was never punishment. It was preparation. Heaven has drawn its conclusion. You were not random. You were recorded. You are the proof that mercy leaves marks. For the Lord is righteous. He loves justice. The upright will see his face. Psalm 11, verse 7. So when the world examines your resilience, when old memories replay as testimony, when peace rises again and again like an appeal granted from above, know that the verdict is already written. You are cleared, chosen, commissioned. Type 444 if you recognize the pattern. It is not superstition. It is synchronization. It means justice in motion, truth surrounding you, protection sealing your name in light. Stand tall. You've been found innocent of despair and guilty of faith. Heaven calls the case closed and the soul open. The courtroom is gone. The case is over. Only light remains. You stand in the aftermath of divine justice, calm, unshaken, radiant. No chains, no suspicion, no need to explain. Heaven's verdict echoes softly through the air, cleared by grace, commissioned by truth. This is not acquittal. It's adoption. You are not escaping punishment. You are inheriting purpose. The trial was the unveiling. The investigation was the initiation. So now, walk freely through the world with quiet authority. Let kindness be your testimony and peace your badge. Where others still see flaw, heaven sees foundation. Where others recall failure, heaven recalls formation. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow you all the days of your life. Psalm 23, verse 6. You are no longer the suspect. You are the precedent. Your name stands as proof that divine favor always wins its appeal. Take a breath. Look around. Everything that remains is on your side. Type 444 not to request blessing, but to acknowledge it. It's already active, already surrounding, already yours. Stand calmly in the light. The verdict is favor. You are the number one suspect in heaven's greatest miracle, restoration.